the weaponized government. Sort of like when they invaded all the Indian territories and slaughtered the Native Americans and stole everything in sight. The weaponized government. Kind of like the slavery, where they used to buy and sell and trade and engage in human trafficking with slaves back when the government was weaponized. And then come on forward and let's see, the day they rolled up in front of the Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, and shot the place all up. Weaponized government, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the massive looting of the banks and the massive looting of the savings and loans. And when the whistleblowers like myself tried to do something about it, they turned on me. Good old FBI. They turned on me because I was blowing the whistle on the giant banking scams and all the real estate swindles in Texas and Florida and Arizona, New Mexico, and the Poconos and the Carolinas and, all up and down the West Coast up to Alaska and Hawaii. The giant real estate swindles and schemes that went on to become the massive implosion of 2006, 7, and 8. Toxic zombie land swindles. The subprime predatory foreclosure mafias. The weaponized government. The weaponized courts. The weaponized courts when people like, I assume he's a person, but I'm having my doubts. Robert Leon Jordan, federal judge Robert Leon Jordan, and all the other 150 so compromised federal judges that hear cases where they have huge investments with the defendants. Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, J.P. Morgan Chase, Deutsche Bank, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, and on and so on and so forth. Lehman Brothers, the weaponized judiciary, right? Robert Leon Jordan, Judge Robert Leon Jordan. And then let's see, censoring and weaponized government. Oh, when they lie about New York State doing huge amounts of business in North Carolina. The courts just lie about it so you can't have jurisdiction. They say that New York State doesn't do business in North Carolina, and the answer is, that's a great, big, huge, stinking, freaking lie. New York State does huge amounts of business in North Carolina, and the comptroller of the state of New York, D. Napoli, he's got all the records. And so doesn't the New York State Banking Commission. They do huge amounts of business in North Carolina, so the North Carolina courts are full of shit. So to Christopher Wray, when you're over there in Davos, maybe you'll just stay. Because I got news for the world. Christopher Wray's a bullshit artist. He's got that baby face, and he poker face lies, and he's trained himself to look into the cameras and just bullshit everybody with this little baby face that he's got. He'd make a good card cheat. He probably is a card cheat, actually. But let's see, weaponized government. Yeah, they censor, they remove people from social media. They don't want the word to get out. They remove people from AOL, Yahoo, Google, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, man. They censor people on social media so that the truth doesn't get out. Right, Judge Doherty? Come on, Judge Doherty. Down there in Shreveport and Lafayette, Louisiana. Let's talk about the way the federal government silences certain whistleblowers and the way the courts help them do it. There's millions of Americans that have been censored and their expressive rights have been violated in this big conspiracy. Millions. And the court in Lafayette knows very well that there's huge numbers of people that have been censored and attacked by this weaponized government. So what does the court in Lafayette, Louisiana do? Well, they limit the case, and they won't let any of the people who've been attacked in their expressive rights to join the case. They want it to be all about Trump and the vaccine. Well, it's not just about Trump and the vaccine. It's about millions of Americans swindled in real estate transactions by crooked-ass banks like Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase, Western Banks Houston. Right, Christopher Schwecker? Let's get Christopher Schwecker, the former criminal head of the FBI, Schwecker, from Houston. He knows who John Conley is, former FBI agent John Conley, don't you, Schwecker? Old John Conley, now there was a weaponized FBI, huh? Old Schwecker and Whitey Bulger. The murdering gang, the Winter Hill gang of Boston, right? Schwecker, come on, Schwecker. Let's get Bill Black and, Catherine Austin Fitts, and we can get a huge number of other people like Kat Wolford, and let's sit down and talk about the weaponized government to silence the whistleblowers. They damn sure did it to me. Yes, they did. They don't like their bankster gangster schemes and scams being exposed. Aw, poor little thieving slobs. No wonder Maxine Waters was kissy-huggy and blowing kisses at Samuel the bankster man. Boy, old Maxine Waters loves those campaign donations.